So, my front bumper has arrived. This is one of the bumpers that normally fits like a Wrangler. This is interesting. Got like a little felt blanket. There's really heavy duty material in there. And it was into a blown in foam packaging. Kind of psyched to see what this is going to look like actually. So here's the front light bar. Everything is really well protected. Interesting because I'd heard a couple people that were talking about shipping issues and stuff like that. And this is packed really well. Okay, I'm going to need my other hand again. All right, so the bumper is packed in this sewn in felt enclosure. I mean, this is worth the price of admission all by itself. And then there's foam over the top of that, so they foam that into the box. Nice. And then there's hardware down here somewhere. All right, so some of the hardware that was in the package were these little fellas. And these are really heavy duty. They're not made of aluminum foil. They got some weight to them. All the hardware in here, which actually looks really nice. LEDs, LEDs, LEDs. I mean, it's not the thickest stuff on the entire planet, but this thing was marked, this is 56 pounds. Which is a lot heavier than it sounds. This thing was 180 bucks. Keep in mind it's got that hoop bar on it too as well. That bolts up onto here. It was marked down like $31 because of some sort of obscure Facebook promotional thing. And then it also ended up with free shipping. I, honest to God, don't understand how you can do this that cheaply. Just the materials, like if I just had to cut this stuff, I couldn't do it for that much money. Just the cuts and the bends and the welds and well, geez, the stupid lights. I mean, the lights themselves. Everybody who's priced LED lights knows how much those things, I mean, you're not going to get these for like $1 a piece, which is about what you would need to get these for in order to be able to do this. That's solid heavy metal there. That is a beast. And the welds are decent all the way around. I probably should have put the light on the camera. But yeah, everything looks a lot better than some of the things that I see at some of these tractor places. This is really well built. I'm super happy so far. I'm totally psyched. It's a choice between getting rid of this lower bumper entirely and just putting that in and then painting everything black behind it, which is what I've seen a lot of people do, or cutting it in, or I don't know. I'm going to figure that out. I got to get it out in front here and then figure out some spots for mounting points and things like that. Yeah, that's definitely going to look cool. So I just want to say off the bat, the hardware is all here and it's pretty decent stuff. You could probably do 3/8 in there if you wanted to. But for just like a little vanity bar, this is fine. This would only be for like light brush and stuff. If anything else hit that beyond light brush, I think you'd be out of luck. But for the price I paid for this thing, that is absolutely amazing. I'm totally astounded at the quality of this product. All right, so I just figured I'd take a shot of this pretty much completed. I've got the hook on here. I didn't run the line through yet because I haven't tested the winch. But the winch is on there, mounted to the plate. I was just messing with the lights because, so that's just a little 12-volt power supply that I'm using to power the lights. And then I took the ring off here because I wanted to see how big of an opening I had to deal with. These rings that go around the lights, the surrounds these are super heavy duty, and it's got a lip around the inside of it, so I might be able to put some reflector in there. I want to use this spot, maybe not necessarily this light, as my directional, so I need to have a reflective cover over the top of that. That's amber. As cool as these are, I'm probably going to remove those and put vents in because my radiator is going to be behind this mess here. So I'm not sure what kind of airflow restrictions I'm going to have. So at least for now, what I'll probably do is I'll pull these out and put some black mesh in there. And I can probably, I'm thinking about using these lights for something else anyways. Like I said, I want to do something with these side pieces for directionals because the lights that are on the, hey Ted, how you doing, buddy? The lights that are on the truck are going to be obfuscated by the bumper because once the bumper's in position, this is going to block out where the original bumper lights would be. Alrighty, so we got a wireless remote here. You hold your power button down for a couple of seconds, and this fires up. It's not going to come out, obviously, because without help anyways. That'll be about as far as that'll go. And then that'll attach to here. And then to cut that off, just hold my button down. That's it. So that's pretty cool. Right now I'm just running it off this super sketchy setup that's coming off from the RTV battery, which may burst into flames in any second. There's also a manual wire jobby that I'm going to have to give a shot on that just to see if that works. I'll probably mount that inside the truck. Let me get that out of the package. Hey, dude.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hi. What are you doing?
So it's a nice looking switch. Kind of interesting. Almost looks like I might be able to put that into one of those dash knockouts. There we go. That works. I really wanted to put my hook on, but this is all coming back off again because I gotta obviously mount this to the MiniTruck. So before I can get this mounted to the MiniTruck, I gotta figure out mounts and things like that. So I got this bolt position here and then the one over on the other side. So these bolts to stick out, there's also an inverted one that you can't see here, that you actually screw a bolt into it. So these are bolts sticking out from the other side, capture bolts, and then we've got nuts on here. So I may use all three of these. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But then I got to figure out some kind of bracketry to hold this on there. And there's just a whole bunch of things to deal with. So I just want to make sure the winch worked. And then I'm going to take the winch back off again. Mock this up and get it put onto the truck. As soon as I get the truck back. It's out right now getting an exhaust put on. So I'm getting ready to pull the bumper off. So this bumper is in fairly decent shape up until we get to this side here. This whole piece of plastic was broken off. So I made a little bit of an angled bracket, and then I screwed it onto here. And then I just put a nut and bolt set up on this side here. So this bumper is usable, but I'm not going to be using it, I don't think. All depends on how I get this thing to fit in there. So I'm going to have to take a look, and we'll see how it goes. Keep in mind, this is not part of the bumper. This here is that valance right there. So that will go back in. So the bumper's going to go, it's going to cover up to this area here. So, yeah, none of that will be visible. Going to take off that. And last but not least, oops, this one right here. This one is a shoulder bolt, so you do have to pay attention to this one because you don't want to lose this in case you decide you're going to put that bumper back on again. So, do not lose the hardware. Do your best to keep that stuff together. Alright, so the first thing I'm experimenting with here is these are shackles from Tractor Supply for a trailer. They came in a kit. I actually used the rocker portion and the bushings and the bolts and had these pieces of, this is some pretty heavy duty stock left over. So I think what I'm gonna do is have something going on using this as the bridge to get to this, although there's gonna have to be some bending and stuff like that going on here. And probably try and come off from one of these and use some of these on the mounts down here. So this thing here, I pounded this back flat. This was concave, that was folded right up and under. So I'm gonna leave this here, and I'm just working right off the top of it. So I know that's a good solid mount, and that's a good solid mount. I mean, this obviously isn't gonna be 6,000 pounds worth of towing type of mount, but it'll hold the bumper on there. And then I'm also toying around with the idea of using the towing position, putting a plate on the inside, going through the 2 holes that are already here, because this is just sheet metal here. So if I can reinforce that on the inside, use this whole surface area, that might help. You can see that other side's, the other side's probably not as good, but a larger surface area of metal in here probably wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, so this is the inside. And I could put a whole big plate in there, starting with a piece of angle that comes down here and then goes straight up. Yeah, I'm gonna look at that because that may actually be something semi-useful. So I'm getting closer to kind of getting this thing set into place. So like these things here are half a mile off from where they need to be for this, because they need to be way down and way away, but I also want to make sure that I don't get the bumper past this line here. All right, so that line will at least give me an idea where I gotta be. All right. Keep this below that line. It's a little off center because of the way it's hanging, so this one tilts me out. Tilts me back. Okay. This honestly seems like it's taking for absolute ever. I'm talking to video. What are you talking to? All right. So what I'm doing here, this one here controls the angle on the front bar. This one here goes through the inside and goes through a couple of loops, so it's controlling it on an angle left and right and up and down. But I had to over adjust because it's not on the exact center here, so I had lots of crazy stuff. These crossovers are on those poles down there, and they're holding it over and in. So I'm kind of going with the body line. This level isn't going to be perfectly level because I didn't get the truck perfectly level. I got it jacked up so I can work on it, and I got it on jack stands in the back, but it is pitched down slightly. So this level isn't actually being used as a level. The level is being used to make sure that this is level with the body of the vehicle, because I just don't want this thing being crazy pitched one way or another. And right now what I'm looking at doing, I got this bracket here, and I'm gonna probably do something that's gonna go up toward this way and then attach to one of these guys or one of those guys, I don't know. I've also got these holes up in the front that I can send something straight through. So I can do like a bracket here, come up and over this way. So I don't know, I gotta figure some stuff out. But the main thing is just getting it into position so that it looks like it's supposed to be where it's supposed to be. I put this stuff on the edge just to keep it from whacking the body while I'm working on it. And I still have to lower it a little bit because you can see where that line is, and it's got to be below that line. But while I'm doing this, it was easier to lower it than it is to raise it. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to leave a gap, probably the thickness of this plastic even, from the top of that line. So when I go to put the front panel in, I don't have to fight it. I should be able to just put it in, and there'll be like a little, maybe a half-inch gap or whatever. Because I'm not super worried about the gap between that panel here. That's not really going to matter. The winch is going to be in front of the radiator, which also doesn't matter because that valance cover is going to be in front of this. All it's going to leave is that open gap right here. And then I'm going to have holes down here for a breather. And then I'll have to figure out some other stuff for lower down. So I may end up using parts of that original bumper just to keep everything quiet down here. I don't know. Like I said, lots of things to think about. First thing I got to do is I got to get the bumper actually attached to the truck. So it's pretty heavy duty material. And then that is going up to another one. I know it's hard to see all this stuff right now. I'm going to weld that all onto that solid. So I've got it bolted on here. Wish I could get a better view of this, but you can see the nut going through. So this way I can put all this stuff together. I'm going to have this here. I'm going to utilize the 2 holes that were there for the tow bar, and I'm going to send those over to this nut here, and possibly the bolt hole up in the top. So I'll have one going straight across here. And then I'm thinking of trying to do something off from that little fella, maybe bring it out and then angle it up and hit the remaining bolt on the bottom here. So I'll have this stuff, and then of course I got the one on the other side that I started working on that one too. And that one's also on bracket. The same deal. I also have the toe points here, and then I can put plates on the inside of that. So, I mean, it's not an ideal angle, but there's really nothing to bolt to in the front of these things. There's nothing there at all. So I did straighten out the rigging underneath here. This was bent up pretty good. I might try and reinforce that a little bit. Put a plate on it maybe. I know this looks like a horrible angle, but once I get the one in the front face going straight out, I'll have 2 angles there, and then I'll probably go from here straight across, and I'll weld something to those guys so that, you know, they'll get some strength that way too. Little by little. We're getting there. It's going to take a lot of welds, but yeah, I think this will be pretty cool.